So lying down on our backs, feeling the spine supported by the earth, and with the feet as wide as the mat, the knees can knock in, and you can feel the release of the lower back into the earth. And find some softness in the belly, feel the breath. Begin to move fluidly throughout the whole torso. Moving the breath like a wave, feel the belly lift on the inhale, then the chest. On the exhale, the chest drops, and then the belly drops. Notice what's happening in your chest. Do you need to maybe tuck your shoulders down the back and make a little bit more room there for the breath? Setting up this nice deep breath to carry us through the practice as we begin to move in just a couple of breaths. Let the arms come out into a T or a cactus shape and keep the feet as wide as they are. And then on an exhale, let your knees drop over to the right. Feel that stretch. Inhale up through center. The knees drop over to the left. Moving with the breath, the inhales bring you up through center. Maybe your head gets involved, turning in the direction away from your knees. Once more to each side. Bring the knees up through center, walk your feet in so you're now at about hips width distance. Keeping your left foot grounded, really find the foot there. Extend right foot up towards the sky. Take your hands behind your thigh, interlacing the fingers. And press the back of the thigh into the hands. Feel how that squares off the hip. Flex through the toes. And then point through the toes. Keeping the leg nice and active as we open up some of the muscles in the tops of the feet and the backs of the calves. Maybe you start to take the movement of the foot into circles and notice what goes on there. Inhale, press the heel up towards the sky. And then exhale, cross the ankle over the top of the left thigh for a figure four pose. So pressing that right knee away and then interlacing the hands, threading the needle to grab behind your left thigh. Inhale. Exhale, release. Both feet come down to the earth. And then when you're ready, left foot extends up towards the sky, flexing through the foot, find the strength of the leg, muscles hug in towards the bones. Hands come to interlace behind the left thigh. Press the back of the left thigh into the hands, feel the hips square. And once you have that alignment, you can begin to point and flex the toes, circle out the ankle, whatever felt good on the first side, try it on the second side. Flex through the foot, press the heel towards the sky, release the hands, cross your ankle, keeping the foot flexed over the top of the right thigh. Finding the extension of the left knee away from the body and then threading the needle. Keeping the breath moving like a wave. One more inhale here. Exhale, both feet come down to the earth. Planting the feet about hips width distance, just out of reach of your fingertips, rolling the shoulder blades under, finding the engagement of all four corners of the feet, and then inhale, lifting the heart and hips up off the ground for a bridge pose. And you can just grab onto the edges of your mat here. If you are ready to interlace your fingers underneath you, find that. But focusing mainly on getting our power through our feet here. So press down into the feet, feel the hips lift. Feel the tailbone drop so the back of the lower back is not all crunched up, but there's a nice long line. And the heart opens. One more inhale. And then exhale, rolling down. Hug the knees into the chest. Grabbing for the ankles or for the outer edges of the feet. Just a quick happy baby here, flexing the feet up towards the sky. Lengthening tailbone down towards the earth, keeping shoulders moving down towards the earth. And you can rock from side to side here if that feels good. Or if you prefer to stay still, you may. Try extending one leg long. And then bringing it back to center and using your next breath to extend the other leg long. Knees come into center. Begin to roll up and down the length of the spine. Taking a few times to gather momentum. And then we're going to swing up and over right into a downward facing dog. Bend deeply into the knees as you arrive. Press down into the hands. Feel the hips reach up and back. Feel like there's a belt around your lower ribs, so you pull the lower ribs in instead of letting them flare down towards the bottom, keeping the back really nice and strong. Inhale, exhale, stretch heels down towards the earth. Inhale, bend into the knees. Exhale, straighten the legs, heels root down. Inhale, bend. Exhale, root. Pausing with the legs long, feeling the blood flowing through the backs of the legs. Walk your hands back to meet the feet. Hanging forward in a forward fold. I like to take my hands sometimes behind the base of my skull and interlace the fingers and let the elbows hang down from there. It helps to bring some more length into the neck. Give a little traction to the head as we fold in deeply. Feel the inner thighs engaged and turning in towards each other. And then feel how your feet plug down into the ground. Shift the weight a little bit forward into the balls of the feet. Feel the hips reaching up from here as the torso hangs heavy. And if you like to sway from side to side, take a few breaths to do that. Every exhale, let the top of the body get a little bit heavier, a little bit looser. Release your hands to the ground on an inhale, rolling up slowly to find Tadasana. Shoulders roll back, head lifts at the end of the breath. Feel the inner thighs here rotating in towards each other. You'll feel sort of like a flaring across the back of the hips. That is good and stable connection for your lower back. You can feel the tailbone has a little bit more room to drop down. And there's a little bit more room in the whole front of the body. So as you inhale, you can feel the heart lifting and opening through the chest. Step to the top of your mat. Inhale, lift the arms up overhead. Exhale, fold and open the legs. Inhale, come all the way back up. Exhale, fold all the way back down. Just getting this momentum with the breath, flushing open the body. Keep moving with the breath. Folding and unfolding. Inhale, come all the way up. Pausing, reaching up, lengthening through the whole body. Press down into the feet, reach up through the fingertips, shoulders plug down, sides of the waist lift. Inhale. Exhale, bending over to the right, grab onto the left wrist with the right fingertips. Inhale up through center, exhale, coming over to the right or the opposite side. Inhale up, exhale to the right. Inhale up and exhale, opening to the left. Inhale up, release the hands, reach up, look up. Exhale, bend the knees, fold it over the legs. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, step right foot back, lower the knee down. Feel the inner thighs hug together. Press down into the heel of the left foot. Bring the hands up to the top of the left knee to begin. And we can really feel the strength moving through the hips to square them towards the front of the mat. And then you can bend a little deeper into that front knee without losing the engagement through the pelvis, holding you steady, feeling that opening coming down into the right hip flexor. And maybe the arms lift up overhead. Maybe you take the hands behind the lower back, interlace them, drag them down the back of the right thigh to open the chest, find a little bit of space in the neck. Keeping the breath moving, wave-like. One more inhale. One more exhale. Inhale, arms come up to the sky if they're not. Exhale, hands come down. Plant right hand, tuck back toes, lift that heel up. Inhale, open left arm to the sky for a twist. Gaze lifts up to those left fingers. Rolling the shoulder blades on the back, opening the chest. Inner thighs are still trying to hug together. Feel the hips square. And we'll inhale. Exhale, hands come down. Step to the back of the mat, downward facing dog. Inhale, roll forward, plank. Exhale, pull back, downward facing dog. Inhale, roll forward to plank. Exhale, pull back, lifting from the belly. Inhale, roll forward, hold. And then exhale, lower all the way down. You can use your knees if you would like. Hands are alongside the lower ribs as you land, rolling the shoulders back. Inhale, pulling forward, cobra pose. Lifting heart and head up, opening. Press the tops of the feet down, roll the shoulders down the back. Holding here, you can circle out the neck. And then exhale, rolling down, shifting back through child's pose. Taking a breath, with the hips down, the heels, inhaling and exhaling. Inhale, shifting forward, all fours, tuck the toes, lift the hips, exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, right leg lifts to the sky. Exhale, step it forward. Lower left knee down to the earth. Feel that base stabilizing before you even come up, so inner thighs hug together. Then the hands come to the top of the right knee. Press down into the right knee to lift the heart. Feel the opening through the left hip flexor. Sink the hips a little bit lower. And then inhale, maybe the arms lift to the sky. Maybe they interlace with the opposite thumb on top, behind the back, and dragging the fist down, opening through the sides of the neck. Healing the heart up to the ceiling, inhale. Exhale, release, hands come down, tuck back toes under. Inhale, open right arm to the sky, finding a big twist. Lift your gaze to those fingertips, take one more inhale. Exhale, hands come down, step to the top of your mat. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold in. Inhale, rolling up, feel the feet really strong, the inner thighs really strong, the arms lift up, the gaze lifts up. Exhale, pull hands down through heart center. Breathing in steadiness here. And side two, inhale, arms lift. Exhale, fold in. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, left foot steps back, left knee lowers. You know where you're going. Inhale, lifting up into Anjayasana. Taking the variation that suits you. Keeping the base steady. One more inhale. Exhale, hands come down, left hand plants, toes tuck under in the back as you open right arm to the sky. Last inhale. Exhale, hands come down, step back, downward facing dog. Roll forward, plank. Pull back, down facing dog. Moving forward to plank, unfurling like a wave from the pit of the stomach. Exhale, pushing back, downward facing dog, lifting from that pit. Once more, inhale forward. Exhale, back to dog. Inhale, roll forward. Exhale, lower down, chaturanga. Inhale, slither up, cobra pose. Holding here, really engaging, pressing down into the pelvis, pressing down into the tops of the feet, rolling the shoulders down, lifting the heart. Open through the neck, back of the neck is long. Again, you can take some neck stretches here. Inhale. Exhale, roll down. Shift back through a child's pose for a couple of breaths. Inhale up through tabletop and back to downward facing dog on your exhale. Inhale, left leg lifts. Exhale, step it forward, lower right knee, coming up, Anjayasana. 3 breaths. Exhale, hands come down, right hand plants, back toes tuck under. Inhale, unfurl, left arm to the sky. Check in again with your inner thighs. Are they hugging together, squaring the hips, keeping you stable? If I were mean, I'd make you come up to stand from here, but I'm not. Inhale, exhale, hands come down, step to the top of the mat. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold in. Inhale, roll up, reach up. Feel the strength rising up from the ground. Exhale, pull the hands down through heart center. 3 breaths. Inhale, step the right foot out, long toes face towards the side of the mat. Feet are pretty wide, but not so wide that you can't find your roots down through them. So press down into the feet, inner thighs roll back, hands come to the hips. Inhale, lift the heart. Exhale, fold forward from the waist, dropping the crown of the head down towards the earth. I like to keep my hands at the waist, pulling the elbows in towards each other, opening through the sides of the neck. If you want to go a little deeper in that direction, you can interlace the fingers, lift the fists up, pulling up through the fists and over. If you prefer to have more grounded energy, you can bring your hands down to the earth. Hands come back to the waist. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, rise all the way up to stand. Turn your heels in, toes point out. Inhale, lift through the heart, press down into the feet. Exhale, bend the knees, sink the hips down, temple pose. Arms can lift up towards the sky or come to heart center. Holding here, pressing down into the heels, finding the long line of the spine, tail drops down. Shoulders stack on top of the pelvis, head stacks on top of the shoulders. Inhale, exhale, sit down a little lower. Inhale, exhale, a little lower. Inhale, last exhale here. Inhale, press up. Exhale, step back to the top of your mat. Inhale, arms lift. Exhale, fold in. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, step back, foot back, turn heel down. We're gonna rise up into warrior 2 on an inhale. Press down into the back edge of that back foot. Press down into the heel of the front foot. Open through the wings. Feel the hips opening across the front. Inhale, reverse your warrior. I like to grab onto my left wrist and pull it up and over. Press down into the ball of the foot, straighten the leg, reverse triangle. Inhale, reaching forward, keeping the length and strength in the legs, coming to your Trikonasana. Hand can rest on ankle, shin, ground, whatever is accessible to you while keeping the sides of the waist nice and long, reaching out. Crown of the head reaching forward. Chin comes up, gaze comes to the fingers overhead.
Inhale. Exhale, bend into the front knee, turning this into extended side angle. Right arm lengthens alongside the right ear. Gaze turns up, chest turns up. Press your right arm into the inside of your left, or your left arm into the inside of your left thigh to spiral the chest open a little bit more. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale, hands come down, turn onto the back toes. Inhale here, lengthening the spine forward. Exhale, press into the front leg, straightening into a pyramid, folding it over the leg. Inhale, bend, finding a lunge. Exhale, straighten the legs, pyramid pose. Inhale, bend. Exhale, straighten. Inhale, bend, plant your hands. Exhale, step back. You can move through a vinyasa if you want. Meeting in downward facing dog. From downward facing dog, inhale, lifting onto the toes, looking forward, exhale, empty completely, and then hopper step to the top of the mat. Riding the wave, inhale, unfurl, halfway lift, exhale, fold in. Inhale, root down, reach up, come up to standing. Exhale, pull hands down through heart center. 3 breaths. Inhale, arms lift. Exhale, fold in. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, left foot steps back, spin heel down. Rising up, warrior 2. Drop the shoulders down the back. Pull back through your left fingers to really straighten your spine so it's stacked on top of the hips rather than leaning forward. Inhale, right arm lifts up, reverse your warrior, grab onto the wrist with the left fingers to pull that side of the body a little longer. Inhale, press into the ball of the front foot, making it a reverse triangle. Inhale, reach forward, keeping the legs strong, landing Trikonasana. Left arm to the sky, chest opening. Sides of the waist long, feet strong. Really feeling the juice rise up through the legs, the muscular energy of the legs, pushing us so the spine gets a little longer. Bend into the front knee, extended side angle, left arm reaches long. Huge line all the way up from the left heel through the left fingertips. Press the right arm into the right knee to open the chest a little bit more. Feel the navel spinning up towards the sky. Inhale. Exhale, hands come down, spin onto the back toes, lunge. Take an inhale in the lunge. Exhale, straighten the legs, folding over the leg, pyramid pose. Inhale, bend. Exhale, straighten. Inhale, bending into the lunge. Exhale, straightening, pyramid. Inhale, bend into the lunge, plant the hands, step back, downward facing dog, optional vinyasa. Let's meet in the child's pose. Keeping the knees wide. Letting the elbows fall heavy on the earth, the shoulders fall heavy. Coming back to the breath, allow the inhales to spread through the belly, through the lower back. Feel them rise up the whole back side of the body. And exhale. Shifting forward from here, coming into a Sphinx pose. Propped up on your elbows, pressing the forearms down into the earth. Drag back through the elbows energetically so you roll the shoulders down the body and you can feel the belly really get long here. Lift up your left foot, turn the toes down towards the earth, press even the pinky toe edge down into the earth. Lift up your right leg, do the same thing, turning the leg in, pressing the top of the foot down. See if you can get a little bit more length through the chest, through the belly. Let your right ear come to your right shoulder. Just breathe for a few breaths here. Really feel that left shoulder blade pulling onto the back, lengthening through the side of the neck. Inhale, lift the head up and over to the other side, left ear to left shoulder. Maintaining all the engagement through the rest of your body here. Head comes up through center. Cross your left forearm across the mat. Bend your right knee. Reach back with the right hand. Grab your right foot and start to pull it down towards the outer edge of your right hip. And as you do that, you may find yourself really lift off to the left side. Bring your weight back to center. Stretch that right inner or right front of the hip down towards the earth. Press down into the forearm, lift the heart a little bit off the ground. And just breathe. One more inhale. Exhale, release gently. Returning to center. Inhale, cross right forearm across the mat. Bend left knee, reach back, grab that left foot, pulling it down to the outer edge of your left hip while pressing down through the front of that hip. So you're leveling off the hips on the ground. Press down into the forearm to lift the heart up. Keep the length through the front of the body. Giving the breath somewhere to go. Inhale, exhale, release, and just come down, rest the forehead on the pillow of your two hands. You can wiggle your hips from side to side. Feeling the breath spread through the lower back. Bend your right knee out like a frog leg, flex through the foot. Press down into your right hand, take your left arm, slither it underneath your right armpit, and then you can open right arm up. You're landing in a twist. And notice what feels better for you in your body. Is it nice to have your shoulders grounded and your knee up off the ground? Or do you prefer kind of have the shoulders hanging out with the knee heavy on the ground? For me, it's all about the shoulders these days. Allow the head to turn in the opposite direction of the knee. Unfold, coming back down onto the belly. Pausing for a moment just to find the breath in the center. Noticing the effects of the twist. Then the left knee bends. Right arm comes underneath left armpit. And you open into the twist. From here, just keep turning until you come onto your back. You may have to shift yourself back onto your back. Lift the hips up and put your hands underneath your bum, pulling the shoulders in. And you can keep your feet grounded, or if you like, you can extend the legs long, and you can decide what you like when you find out what's happening next, which is that we press the elbows down into the ground, lifting the heart, lifting the crown onto the crown of the head. So you're making contact with the earth. And if you have the legs straight, you're pointing the toes firmly. The legs are hugging in towards each other. Press down into the elbows, lift the heart, opening through the neck, opening through the front of the throat, opening through the sides of the throat, opening, lifting the heart. Inhale. Exhale, tuck the head in and come back down to the ground. You can just stay with the arms pinned underneath you for a moment. That kind of feels nice. And then releasing the spine to the earth.
Feeling the body settle along the central line, making the body even. So if you notice that you have your knees leaning off to one side, pull them back in towards the center. Engage both feet on the earth, bringing them in towards the hips. Hands come down alongside the body. Back of the neck stays long. Inhale, press down into the feet equally, lifting the hips at the same time. Bridge pose. Notice if you have more space in the shoulders to interlace the fingers underneath the body. I certainly do. Press down into the feet. Feel the lower back lengthening, the tailbone lengthening down. Inhale. Exhale, lower the hips. Windshield wiper the knees from side to side. Come back up through center. We're going to lift back into a bridge pose. 2 of 3. If you like full wheel, you can do it. Inhale, lifts the hips and hold for 5 breaths. Really focus on finding the evenness through both feet. Pressing up through the hips, lengthening through those hip flexors. Inhale. Exhale, release, rolling down to the earth. Windshield wiper the knees from side to side. Inhale, knees come up to center. Last bridge pose. Inhale, press up through the feet, lifting. Inhale. Exhale, release down. Hug the knees in. Find a happy baby or any other position that feels good. That's a symmetrical position for the body. I like happy baby because it really allows us to focus on opening the lower back to the earth. When you're ready, extending the legs long for Shavasana or coming to whatever resting pose you prefer to close the practice in, and anything is acceptable. Allowing the spine to sink down. Letting the breath lengthen and then lengthen into softness, letting go of control of the breath. Just existing in stillness.
If you have the time and you like to stay in your resting position a little longer, please do. If you are needing to move on with your morning or your day, bring a deeper breath into the body. And as that breath comes into the body, the mind begins to awaken and enliven, and the body starts to move, fingers, toes, wrists, and ankles. And over the course of the next 4 or 5 breaths, just letting the body reanimate and letting yourself rise up to a seated position. When you arrive, just finding stillness, letting the hands rest, letting the eyes close. Appreciating how this practice makes us really engage with the realities of time and space as they happen to our individual embodied forms. Noticing how through our breath and our movement we can manipulate the experience of time, how we can create space where there was none before. And knowing that that is a superpower that is not limited to our practice on the mat. It's something we can always come back to in our day. And thank goodness for that. Hands come to heart center. Inhale. And exhale, bowing the practice. Bowing to close the practice. Bowing to the practice. Namaste.